My husband and I decided to hire a nanny when our baby girl, Madeline, was 7 weeks old. I would be heading back to work soon, and I didn't want to put her in daycare just yet. Having a nanny and keeping Madeline home seemed like the best bet. I interviewed several and finally met Kate. She had great references and was nice, sweet, and Madeline took to her right away. She had all the right answers. Her schedule aligned with our own. And when my hubby, Connor, met her, it seemed like a match made in heaven. I went back to work a few weeks later and Kate began. Things were great at first. Maddie stayed on schedule and there were no complaints. Kate managed to keep the house clean and do all of the baby's laundry and dishes. By the time I got home, I was able to enjoy my baby, and I felt like a much better mum by having Kate there. Over time, she seemed to be becoming a part of our family. When Madeline was 6 months old, my sister got married and it was a kid-free wedding. Most of my family was going to be there, and Connor's lives in a different country. He was born and raised in Ireland, moved to the States after college. We talked about it and agreed that we trusted Kate to watch her for the weekend so we could go. Kate was excited to do so and promised she could handle it. It was hard to leave Madeline for so long, but in the end, we had a fun weekend and Kate sent us lots of pictures, so I never doubted myself. As Madeline was getting older, Kate would take her to more groups or classes to get out of the house during the day. I once had some vacation time and gave Kate the week off with pay, so I was the one to take her to the classes. At one of the classes, another mum was confused and thought I was the sitter. No, I'm Maddie's mommy. Oh, I thought Kate was Maddie's mommy. I didn't think much of it at first. Kate isn't much younger than me and is blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Maddie is red-haired, blue-eyed. It's not a far assumption, and figured that they had just never talked. But then I started hearing it at the other groups as well, including ones where it seemed that Kate knew the other parents very well. Connor was suspicious as well, but we weren't sure how to approach it. I had the nagging feeling to check Kate's social media. Everything checked out. She had pictures of Madeline up there, but nothing that was claiming her as hers. I let it go for a while and everything seemed fine. Then the day came that Kate wasn't home when I was. No note, no scheduled classes. In fact, it was getting close to dinner time. I tried calling Kate's cell, but nothing. I tried not to worry, thinking maybe they just got tied up somewhere. Connor came home and they still were nowhere to be found, nor were they answering. I was so close to calling the cops when they showed up. I was angry, but Kate was in tears. She said that she felt so awful. They had gone to a children's museum an hour away, but then she got a flat and her phone died and she had to flag someone down. I asked why didn't she call me, and she said that she couldn't remember our number. I was fuming, but she swore it would never happen again. I wanted to fire her, but Connor convinced me that it was an overreaction. It was a mistake. It could have happened to anyone. I wasn't sure if I believed it, but he pointed out that this was Kate's first mistake, and that she was the best nanny. Why fire her over this? I know that haunts him to this day. A month went by and I watched Kate like a hawk. Slowly, I started to feel bad, but I was a mum. I had to worry about my kid. Normally, Connor and I's business trips aligned, so we were never out of town at the same time. But a little after Maddie turned 1, they did. I debated cancelling mine as I was just trusting Kate again, but eventually I told myself I was being crazy. She'd be fine. Madeline would be fine. The morning I left, I gave Kate last-minute instructions, kissed Madeline goodbye and gave her a cuddle. I remember her toddling off to go watch some TV before leaving. The business trip went on great. I got texts of videos and pictures of Maddie as usual, along with updates. Connor was due home before I was, and we talked before his flight back. He was using some vacation time to bond with Maddie, as he had been working a lot. That had been his second business trip in a month. I was leaving a boardroom when I got the call. "Paige, they're gone." "What do you mean?" "Madeline and Kate, they're gone." "You mean they're not home?" Number I waited for hours before finally calling the police. No one's seen them in days. I don't remember the next few hours. They were a blur of getting a flight home and trying to get information out of Connor, but there wasn't much to say. All that was gone was the baby bag and Maddie's favourite blankie. Kate lived with her mum, and when she left to watch Maddie for the weekend, All she had brought with her was a weekend bag. Connor and I reunited at the airport, Rex. The more digging the cops did, the more they realised how premeditated this was. Kate had been saving up a lot over the year, working for us, and had cashed out. She had left her car at the train station in a fire zone, so it had been towed. The cops asked around for matching descriptions and checked the cameras, but somehow they were mixed in the crowd. 2 white fair people didn't stand out. The cops found alternate social medias, where Kate had pretended that Maddie was her daughter, using alternate names for both of them. It sickened me to read them. They raided her laptop and found emails to her friends, trash-talking me and Connor as parents. She even confessed to one friend that the night they had gone to the museum, she had tried taking off but got scared and turned around. There was a search for the 2 of them, and they looked into every lead. It even made the news in the surrounding areas, including places her mother thought they would go. But nothing came up. People suspect that Kate probably changed her identity. There's no evidence that she tried to get new paperwork for either of them, but who knows, she could have found a way. The more I talked to people that knew her in her day-to-day, the more I realised how much she was getting away with pretending Madeline was hers. She let it seep through her head, and now they're both just gone. It's been 3 years and there are no new leads. Connor and I split up, and I lost my job because I just couldn't handle it. Nothing seems worth it anymore. This woman stole my reason for living. She's gone now. Normally in the movies, the psycho nanny doesn't get away in the end. In my case, she did.